Hey guys, this is Sri. So after a long time, I'm happy to come up with a new video. Okay, so in today video, we are going to see about Percona monitoring management, PMM. Okay, so the video may be quite long, but we will try to address the PMM installation configuration and how to configure the alert for the Slack channel. And we will also see how to add the MySQL data source and how we can populate the data in the custom dashboard. Okay, so we will see all these details in this video. And before going to the video, I would like to give some brief introduction about the PMM. Okay, so the PMM is the amazing tool from Percona. Okay, this is the open source tool. This supports the UI. Okay, and you can use the PMM for monitor your OS databases, and this is very helpful for the troubleshooting purpose. And you can store the historical metrics in the dashboard. It have the support for the query analytics that is very useful to optimize your queries. Okay, and there is lot of features available in the PMO. Okay, this is very helpful for the to monitor the database environment and the Linux environment as well. Okay, and Percona team is keep developing the PMM. You can see the releases very free frequently. We can see the new releases, and each releases are coming with the bug fixes and amazing new features. Okay, so if you do not aware of the PMM, I would strongly recommend to explore the PMM. That would be really helpful. Okay, this is supported for the MySQL, PostgreSQL, and MongoDB, and and again you can monitor the Galera cluster. You can monitor the cloud like Amazon, RDS, Aurora instances, and also you can monitor the proxy SQL. Okay, so this is like very helpful tool. Okay. Uh, So, I would recommend to go through the architecture. Like if you are new to the PMM, I would recommend you to how the PMM is working and all those things for some introduction. Okay, so let me give a brief introduction. Like in PMM, we have two major components. One is the PMM server and another one is the PMM client. Okay, so PMM is the heart of PMM. Like there we are storing all the metrics, data, everything. Okay, PMM2 have the ClickHouse as a backend database. Okay, it stores the data in the ClickHouse. It have the Victoria metrics. Okay, and the PMM exporters and Grafana too for the UEI. Okay, and this is the link I would suggest you to get to know about the PMM architecture. Okay, so this is like a very clear explanation. You can find it in the Percona documentation. So I would recommend you to go to this architecture. Maybe if you want, I will also try to create one video to explain the architecture, like how the PMM is working. Okay. And before going to the topic, I mean the demo session, we need to understand like I told you, right? We have the PMM server and PMM client. So let's say you have one monitor server and you have some DB servers. Okay, in monitor server you configure some monitoring tool or some housekeeping scripts or anything. You will remotely connect the DB server and you will run it. Okay, so let's say it is good to have one monitoring server. There we can install the PMM server component. Okay, and in the DB server we will install the PMM client. Okay, PMM client we will install in the DB nodes, And when you install the PMM client, it have the exporters. Okay. Let's, for example, it have the Node exporter, MySQL exporter, Mongo exporter, which means that exporter will run in the DB host and it will collect the metrics from the databases and OS, and it will send to PMM server. Okay. And PMM server have the backend database ClickHouse. There it will store the metrics. Okay. And it have the Victoria metrics as well. And we can view the data in the Grafana. Okay. In simple way, I am just telling, but I would strongly recommend to go to the architecture URL to understand this better. And before start the installation process, you need to aware PMM needs some port access. Okay. For the connectivity between the PMM server and the PMM client host, you need some port access, and this link have all the details about it. What are the ports required? So all those details you can get it from this link. Okay. So for example, 80 is for insecure connection and 443 for the SSL connection. And for exporters also you need some port. So you can identify, I mean, you can get all the port related details from this page. I will also include this link in the description so that you can take a look at it. Okay, so make sure these ports are enabled between the PMM server and PMM client. Not all the ports are required in the two-way communication. See here you can see the direction, right? Both and out. So based on that, you can configure the ports. Give me a moment. Let me connect the charger. Okay, I'm running out of the charge. 1 second. Yes. So few things before getting started the demo. Just get to know about the PMM by visiting the architecture page, and make sure you have all the ports open between the PMM server and PMM client. Okay. Now here you can see yeah, we are going to see the demo. As I told, yeah, first we will start the PMM installation. Okay. PMM installation means it is the PMM server and client. So I have two server. One is, let me split the screen. Yeah. So here I will use this as a PMM, which means PMM server. I'm going to install the PMM server in the first server, and this one is MySQL. Okay. So this is in the MySQL server. I'm going to install the PMM client. Okay. So MySQL is already installed, and here how to install the PMM server. So this both are the fresh server. So I am going to this as a monitor, first server as a monitoring server, and the second one as a DB server. Okay. So as I told, in the PMM server, so in the monitoring server, I'm going to install the PMM server, and in the DB server, I'm going to install the PMM client. Okay. For the installation, I would say that is quite simple. Okay, just type install PMM and you can visit the first page, install Percona monitoring and management PMM. So Percona made this page like you can very easily install the PMM server. Okay, all the steps are provided in this document very clearly. You can just follow the instruction and copy paste the command, and you can easily install the PMM server and client, and you will manage to configure it. So first one is I have to install the PMM server. Okay. Yeah, PMM server will run in the Docker, and you can run in the like podman, you can run it. Okay. So by default, when you are executing this command, it will check whether the Docker is installed in your monitoring server or not. If it is not installed, it will install the Docker and it will pull the PMM server image and it will configure everything. Okay, just with this command, you will manage to complete the PMM server installation. So let me show you. So this is my monitoring host. So here I'm just copy paste the command and I just started it. Okay, so here you can see once I started the command, checking the Docker installation, not installed, installing. Okay, so it will install the Docker, then it will also pull the PM server image and it will install the PM server inside the Docker. So let the command run. It might take some 2 minutes, I guess. Let it run. So meanwhile, so this is my monitoring server. So here I am installing the PMM server. So this is my DB server. Second one is the DB server. So here I am going to install the PMM client, right? So yeah, well, the command is completed. So here you can see once the Docker is installed, starting the PMM server, created the PMM data, created the PMM server image, and it will also even give the link to log in the dashboard. Okay, so yeah, and finally, you can see the message, enjoy Percona monitoring and management, right? Fine. So now let's log in the dashboard. So my network, I've connected with my home network and this is from the AWS server. So I cannot log in with the private IP, right? So let me get the public IP. So this is my public IP and I'm copying it. I'm going to browser and there I'm just paste the IP and enter. And it is asking me to log in. Okay. So here by default, the username is admin and password is admin. Okay. So let me log in. And at your first login, it will ask you to reset the password. You can reset it. Okay, you can make some strong password. So for now, I'm just skipping it. And here, yeah, it will ask to take the tour on the dashboard. You can check that. Okay. For now, I am skipping it. And here you can see this is the home dashboard for the PMM. So currently we did not configure anything, right? But by default, the PMM server will be configured when we install the PMM server. Okay, that OS related metrics you can see for the PMM server. So here you can see, I mean, from the home dashboard itself, you will get more details like how many MySQL service, Mongo service, Postgres, proxy SQL, how much configured, and what is the disk space. So you in the home dashboards itself, you will get some like you will get more details about your environment. Okay, so now here you can choose the timing. So some quick selection for last 5 minutes, 15, 30, 1 hour, 3 hour, 2 days, until you can choose last 5 years. And here you can choose you can manually choose the timing as well. Let's say I want to troubleshoot something, some connection spike or anything which happens some particular time between this time to this time, then you can manually put the time here, start time and end time, and you can apply the time range and you can see the metrics for that specific time as well. Okay. So yeah, so we just currently what we did, we just installed the PMM server and on the monitoring mode. Okay, so by default, when I'm installing the PM server, I can see the OS related metrics for my PMM server. Okay, so here you can click here and you can see all the dashboards available. For example, general, experimental, insight, Kubernetes, MongoDB, MySQL, OS, Postgres, Query Analytics. That is one. Okay. So now let me choose the OS related metrics, and I am checking the you can choose anything here. Okay. I'm just checking the node overview graph, and here node name is PMM server. That is the metrics from my monitoring post. Okay. And I'm just choosing last 5 minutes because recently I installed it, right? So I can see one from that small time only for now. Going forward, the metrics will be loaded. Okay. So here you can see that node is one, node uptime, DB instances. There is lot of informations. Okay. There is a lot of informations available about the environment. And here you can see the CPU usage, steel, and you will see the network disk related details. Okay. uh, like you will get more information about your server. That's what I'm coming to say. And going forward, I will create some videos using how to use the PM for troubleshooting some specific issues, and we will see some dashboards. Because in PMM you have a lot of dashboards. You can compare the server. Okay, there is a lot of dashboards. We will explore that in the coming videos. Okay, so for now, just to be aware, like we just install the PMM server, and I am managed to see the OS related metrics from the PMM server. Fine. So currently, as I told, we have two components. One is PMM server, and next one is PMM client, right? So we install the PMM server in the monitoring node. The next one is PMM client. So that has to be installed in the DB server, right? So I come to the DB server, and I'm going to the installation documentation. So here you can see install PMM client. That is the step 2. And here you can choose which OS you want. Okay, I am using Ubuntu. So I'm choosing the Ubuntu options. So first I have to install the Percona repository. I need to download it. Yeah, so it is downloaded, and you can just copy paste the command from this documentation. Is pretty much enough. Okay, that will work exactly. You will not face any issues. But make sure you have open all the ports. Okay, the port requirement, so that you can like you will not face any issues while doing the configuration. So first I downloaded the Percona repository here, and then I just installed the downloaded package. And now I need to update the cache.
Okay, I found this on the web for issues while doing the configuration. So first I downloaded the corner here, and then I just
Somehow my Siri got activated. Let me close. It's weird. Okay. Yeah. So it is done. Now let me search PMM2 client. Should be hyphen. Yeah. So PMM2 client is now available, and apt get install PMM2 client. Getting installed, and PMM2 client is installed. You can verify using PMM2. Yeah, you can see the PMM2 client is installed. So now I install the PMM server and PMM client. PMM server on the monitoring host and PMM client on the DB server. So the next thing is I need to configure, right? I need to tell the PMM server, hey, I have the PMM2 client here, and I need to monitor this DB host. I'm running the MySQL. So I will send the metrics, the MySQL and OS related metrics to the PM server. So we need to make the communication between the PM server and the DB server, right? So for that, we need to do the configuration. That is the next step. Connect client to server. Okay. So we need to run these commands in the DB server, which means where we install the PMM client. Okay. So let me copy this command. So first thing is we need to configure this DB host to the PMM server. So for that, we can use PMM admin config. So once you install the PMM2 client, this PMM admin command will be available in your server. Okay. So PMM admin config, then here you need to provide the password. So if you reset the password, then you need to provide that one. So I did not reset, I just skipped. So I'm using the username is admin and password is the admin. And here I need to provide the host IP. Both the servers are in the same network. So I'm just using the private IP of the PMM server. So this IP is the PMM server's IP. Okay. And enter. So here you can see registering the PMM agent on PMM server, and it is successfully registered. And this is the configuration, and you can see the configuration file here. Okay. And that is the YAML file. And finally, PMM agent is running. Okay. And you can also verify PMM admin list command. So using that, currently what are the whether the PMM agent is running or not, and what are the exporters are currently running. So currently you can see node exporter is running. The purpose of node exporter is it will collect the OS related metrics from this DB server, and it will be sent to PMM server. Okay, fine. So now let's go to the dashboard again. And here, if you see now, you can see the other host. So previously it was only PMM server. Now you can see MySQL is also added, right? Because we configured it. Currently when we configure, the node exporter will be run. Okay. Now you can see the metrics for the MySQL host as well, DB server as well. So for example, let me check OS and this details, and the server is MySQL, and I'm choosing for last 5 minutes. Okay. So here you can see the mount point related details, disk mount point / how much space is free, how much space is used. So those details are now available. Now we can see the data. Now this is OS related details. Okay. Now let me go to search MySQL related details. MySQL, and here I'm choosing MySQL instance summary. Here you can see, let me choose the last 5 minutes. You can see the service name is none. Environment all, but we do not see any nodes. The MySQL node is not available here. And after when I choose the last 5 minutes, still I cannot see the data, right? The reason is I just configured the node exporter. When I am doing the PMM admin config, it will just run the node exporter only. Okay. Then I need to tell, maybe I run the MySQL in this host, or Postgres in this host, or Mongo in this host. I can run any database, right? I need to tell which one is monitored and what I am running. I need to tell to the PMM client, right? So for that, I need to add the service. So I'm coming back to the documentation. So here we done with this step. We're done with this step. The next one is I have to tell, hey, I am running the MySQL. So add this MySQL service for your monitoring. Okay, I need to tell the PMM client. So for that, we need to create one user. Uh, because then only the MySQL exporter will connect to the MySQL MySQL instance, and it will get the needed data, right? So for that, we need to create one PMM user, and that PMM user should have these privileges. Okay, don't allocate over privileges. Okay, so these privileges are enough to run the PMM to monitor the MySQL. So I'm just copying the command from the installation documentation and coming here, MySQL, and yeah, I'm just updating the password to PMM321. And the next one is grant statement. So as I told, every command is detailed in this documentation, so just use it. So yeah, I missed this one. So here you can choose the MySQL 8 version. If you are running MySQL 5.7, then you can choose it. If you are running Postgres, you can choose it. MongoDB, AWS, RDS. For everything, the steps are already in this document. Okay, so you can choose it based on your environment. So we just created the user in the MySQL. Then I need to tell the PMM, right? Okay, just monitor this MySQL host. I need to tell it, right? So for that, I need to execute one more command, which is PMM add MySQL. Okay. So if you're running the different database, then you will have the different name here. And this is my username, and I need to provide the password. My password is PMM321. And for the query source, I'm using performance schema and just the name for the service. So here you can see MySQL service is added. Service name is MySQL. I given here, right? And this is the service ID. Table statistics connection also enabled. Now I'm checking the PMM admin status again. Now you can see MySQL D exporter is also added. Now the MySQL D exporter is also running, and performance schema agent is also running for the one. Okay. Now I'm coming back to the dashboard again, and let me check now. Service name is now MySQL, which is available now after we add the after we add the MySQL service to PMM. Now we can see the MySQL related details here. Okay, it will take a little time. So let me. So here you can reduce the scrap interval. So for how much seconds the dashboard has to be updated. Okay. So let me see. Yeah. So I'm just reloading once. Yeah. So here you can see the node name. MySQL uptime will be updated. It will take a little time. And the version, which version I am using, and the buffer build, this will also updated. This details will be updated. It will take a less time. Within 1 or 2 minutes, it will be updated. Okay. And here you can see the MySQL connection. So let me show you a simple example with this MySQL connection. So here you can see the max connection, which is 151, right? 151. And max used connection currently 4. And connection is also 4, right? And here, let me log in. Select at that max connections. So here you can see, which is also 151, right? And show process list. Currently 6 connection. I created one connection and there is another one connection. So once you add the MySQL service into PMM, you will see some user from the local host, that PMM user. Okay, it will be connected and it will execute the queries to the metadata tables, against the metadata tables, and it will collect the metrics to populate the data. I mean the dashboard. Okay, so now coming back to here. So similarly, like here you can see the connection related slow queries, temporary related details, and select types, commit, like open cache details, adaptive hash index details. There is everything, like every details you can get it, process state, every details you can get it from this dashboard. Okay, and also not only this, here you will see more in the MySQL. For example, if you click this folder, here you can see the HA proxy, instance summary, and Amazon Aurora details, command handlers details, group replication, InnoDB compression details, InnoDB details, instance summary, and instance compare. Okay, so actually there is lot of dashboards to explore. So we will address this one by one going forward. I will create more videos on this topic, PMM, like some interesting videos like how to troubleshoot this issue using the PMM, how to troubleshoot this issue using the PMM. We will create more videos in our channel, okay, going forward. So for now, our main purpose is we are going to see about the installation and configuring the alert, and configuring the notification and creating the custom dashboard. Yeah, see here the MySQL uptime is now populated, buffer pool size, everything, those details are now populated. Okay, now, yeah, so this is about installation and configuration. Let me explain again, quick explain, like we have two servers. One is monitoring server and another one is DB server. And in monitoring server, I am installing the PMM server. And in the DB server, I am installing the PMM client. Okay. And then I am configuring the DB server with the PMM server. Then I can see the metrics, node related metrics, and the MySQL related metrics. Fine. The next point is, yeah, so we done with this first two things, installation and adding the MySQL service to monitoring. The next one is testing the alert with Slack. Yeah, so here PMM have the wonderful feature there. You can configure the alerts, and you can get the notification with different uh, channels. Like you can get the alert to your email, you can get the alert to your Slack, you can get the alert to the Telegram, pager duty. PMM alerting is supported for lot of apps. Okay, so to configure the alert, you need to come alerting dashboard here. Here you can see the bell symbol, right? Alerting. So just come to the alerting, and here you can see the different tabs. Okay. So the first one is the fired alerts. It will give the like dashboard, monitoring dashboard. You can use this as a monitoring dashboard. How many alerts are currently active there, and if you silence some alerts, those alerts you can see here. And alert rule template. So here you can see some template. So from Percona provided some templates that you can use it to monitor to configure the monitoring for your host. So for example, MongoDB down, for that you can use this. And similarly for OS related to MySQL, you have MySQL down, replication running or not, replication like IO thread and SQL thread monitoring, MySQL restarted for MySQL connection in use. If you reach that certain percentage of the connection, then you will get the alert, right? You have the by default templates, you can use it. And alert rules is the place there you can configure the alerts. Okay, you can define the rules for your alerts, and the contact points there you can create the contact points like Slack or email. You can create the new group for the contact. Okay, so those things you can configure in the contact points. And notification policy, like where you work, like here you can schedule the default notification group, where you want to send the notification. Those related notification related policies you can configure here. And silences, like if you are doing some maintenance work in your database environment and you want to you are aware like the alert is expected and you want to silence it, you can do that. Okay, so there are I mean, each dashboard have their own purpose and they are very helpful too. So now I would like to show you one alert. Like I'm going to configure one alert. Like I'm going for the MySQL down. Okay, I'm going to manually shut down the MySQL, and I will show you how the alert is getting triggered. Okay, we will see about it. So first I'm configuring the alert rule. Their new alert rule. I'm just clicking it and I'm using the Percona template alert, and there choose, just type MySQL. Yeah, it will list all the MySQL related alerts, and I'm choosing MySQL down. Okay, and here you can give any name like Streamlog, MySQL service check. You can give any name. Okay, you can give any name, and duration 60 seconds, which means let's say it will wait for 60 seconds to make the from I mean the by default if your check is health, it will be in the normal state, and if there is any issue with the check, then it will go to the pending, then it will be fire. Okay, so how much time the alert has to be pending in the pending state, that will be defined here. So in case my MySQL service is down, then 60 seconds the alert will be in pending state, then after that it will be fire. Okay, and you can choose the criticality, like whether it is just alert or error, warning or critical, or just a notice, whatever you can choose it. So for me, the MySQL down is critical, so I'm choosing critical here. And here, just choose the folder. I'm configuring the alert for MySQL, right? So I'm just choosing the MySQL folder. Then just save and exit at the top corner, right corner. You can see the button, save and exit. So just click it, alert, which is saved, and once it is saved, you can see the alert here. For example, yeah, as I told, by default, the check is state is normal. Okay, and you can see the alert is created now. Currently, the health is okay, right? Currently, the health is okay. So now, when it is okay, this dashboard will be no alerts detected because currently there is no alerts. But we just configure the check for the MySQL service, and my MySQL health is currently good. MySQL service is running. So here you can see the health is okay, right? Now let me do one thing. I'm going to shut down the MySQL service here. Systemctl stop MySQL. Yeah. So I just stopped the MySQL service. Right. So you can see the MySQL is inactive now. It is inactive. I just stopped the MySQL service. Now let's see how this state is changed from the normal to the fire one. Right. So here you can see currently there is no alerts detected. Um, yeah. So let's wait for a minute. Okay. Let's wait for a minute, and we do keep monitor the alert. So So yeah, let it be. I'm coming again the another tab, which is the contact point. So here, let's create the contact point. Okay. So I by configuring the, I mean adding the alert rule, it will just monitor and it, I mean it will monitor and it will create the, like it will report the MySQL services down. It will report the alert here. Okay, in the fired alerts, it will report it. But we also need to configure the notification, right? Like for the monitoring notification also, we need to tell the PMM where it has to send the notification, right? So for that purpose, we have the contact points. Okay, here we can configure we can add the contact points, like where you want to send the alerts. We can add the different contact points. For example, here new contact point, there is one button is there, right? So just click it and here choose the name, anything. So for me, free blog alerts Slack. I'm just having this name and contact point type, where you want to send the alerts. So you can see the different options like alert manager, Discord, email, Google Hangout, okay, Line, Telegram, Slack. You can PagerDuty. You can see different things. So for me now, I am going to configure the alerts to Slack channel. Okay, so I'm just choosing the Slack. So when I choose the Slack option, it will ask me to ask me the token or Slack token or webhook URL to authenticate the channel and where it has to send. I mean, we have the different channels, right? So we need to provide that information here. Maybe you need to provide the recipient and the token details. Otherwise, just providing the webhook URL is fine. Okay, webhook URL is fine. So now for that, I have one test. I have created one test Slack channel, and so this is the one I have created. And here, let me create one channel, like add channel, create a new channel, like three logs MySQL alert. Okay, and next public if for now. So this is the channel I have created, and whenever the alerts is there, that will come to this channel. Okay, but as I told, we need the webhook URL. Okay, so to have the webhook, to create the webhook URL, just go to the add apps section, and there just type incoming, yeah, incoming webhooks, and just click it, configuration, and it will take you to the browser, and there just give add to Slack, and then there you can yeah, here choose the channel. For me, I need the alerts into three blocks MySQL alert. So I'm choosing it and add incoming webhook integration. Okay, just click it, and there you can find the webhook URL. So this is the webhook URL. So I'm just copying it and coming back to the dashboard, and I am providing the webhook URL in this section. And finally, I am saving the contact point. Okay, yeah, actually there you can also test it. So for example, let me edit this. Yeah, there is one option test. Okay, when you added the webhook URL, you can test and send test notification, and you can see, yeah, test notification is sent, right? So you can see whether you received the test notification or not. So here, this is the firing test alert from Grafana. So this is actually working. So in this way, you can make sure, okay, the configuration is working. Fine. So now just save the contact point, and then you need to configure the notification as well for this contact point, right? So here, coming to the notification policy. So this is the default email, that is the default for all alerts. Okay, so I'm just editing this and I'm just adding Logs alert Slack. This is a default and I'm just saving. I'm just saving that. Okay, and you can also create the specific policies. Okay, for the alerts, that also you can do. So for now, I just make the Log alerts is a default, that for the Slack, that is a default contact point. Okay, so now I just added it. Now coming back to the rules and checking, you can see the normal state is changed to firing. Now it is firing. And you can come to the fired alerts. And here you can see Logs MySQL check. There is one alert is active. So this alert is active and you can check the severity, which is critical because my MySQL service is down. And as I told, if this is the planned shutdown, you are doing some maintenance work and you want to avoid the noise, in that case, you can silence it. Okay, if you click this silence button, it will ask how many times you want to silence the alert, and you need to submit at the end. Then in that way, you can silence the alert as well. Now, if I am going to the fired alerts, this is now shadowed, right? It is shadowed. And once you completed the maintenance, then you can unsilence it. Okay. So in this way, you can manage the things like you can silence or unsilence the alerts as well. Okay. Now, yeah, silence is period. Now, after I unsilence, now the alert becomes active again, right? So now let me check the whether we also configured the contact point, right, to my Slack with the book URL, and we also added the notification policy. The default is Logs alert Slack. Now let me check the notification is triggered or not. Here you can see I received the notification to my Slack channel, right? So the what it is telling, firing Logs, MySQL service check, MySQL 1, MySQL critical, right? And node name is MySQL. So you will get the alert. You can also customize this alert by adding some label, maybe your own logo or anything. You can also get it. But this is the basic thing to configure the alert. You can also explore the other things like, so currently we just did for the MySQL shutdown, right? You can create your own template. You can use the existing template. So now let me start back the MySQL service. Checking the status. Yeah. So now the MySQL service is active again. I just started the MySQL service back. And here, once the MySQL service is started, and once the alert check is cleared, you will get the another notification with the green line. So currently you got the notification with the red line, right? As this is the critical one, getting the alert notification with red line. So once the alert is resolved, you will get the another notification with the green line. So let's wait for that. And here you can see once the MySQL service is up, now again no alerts detected. The dashboard is now it do not have any alerts now. And checking the alert, it is also normal now, right? It is also normal now. And you can also see the history, like show alert history. Here you can see which time this at 27th October at 3 o'clock 15 minutes it goes to the pending, and at 16 it was alerting. Then when it is resolved, again it comes to normal at 3:23. Again it was the normal. The alert is resolved. So you can check for each alerts. You can also monitor the alert history as well. At which time, what was the state, when it was resolved, when it was triggered, all those details you can check it by clicking the show state history for the alerts. Okay. So this makes sense, right? So in this way, by basically you can configure the alerts, and you can also create the custom templates for the alerts. That also we will see one demo going forward. Okay, fine. So this is the basic thing. You can use the alert dashboard, and there you can configure the alerts, and you need to configure the contact points, and you need to you will receive the alerts. Okay, fine. The next one is uh, let me come here. Yeah, custom dashboard. So in PM, you can create a lot of dashboards. Custom, you can create your own dashboards as well. Simplified dashboards, what you want to monitor. You can do that as well. So here in today, what I'm going to show you how to create some the how to populate the data from the SQL query, and how we can see that in the dashboard, PMM dashboard, by using that data source. I'm going to use the MySQL data source. Okay, so let's start with that. So for that purpose, yeah, so before that, let me create one query. So which data I want to see that in the PMM dashboard. So for example, let's see, select engine, comma, count of star from information schema dot tables, where engine is not null, group by engine. Okay, yeah. So this SQL statement giving like how many tables are available with the specific engine. Like with InnoDB, I have 36 table, performance schema, I have 111 table, CSV, I have 2 tables. So now let's try to populate this data in the PMM with some colorful dashboards. Okay, so let's see how to do that. So for that, yeah, so as I told, that notification section, once the alert is resolved, you will also get the another notification with the green line, right? So this is how it is working by default, and you can also play with that. Okay, and here you can see this is result, right? Like yeah. So coming back to here, so to create the custom dashboard using data source, first I have to add the data source. Okay, add the data source. You have a lot of data source for MySQL, Postgres. You have the different databases and data sources available. So you can see them. You can go to the settings tab, and there you will find data sources option. Just click it. Just click it, and here you can see the different available data sources here. Okay, just search for MySQL, add data source, and here I am just typing MySQL. So this is the data source for MySQL database, because I'm going to execute the query in the MySQL database and retrieving the result. I'm going to populate them in the PMM dashboard, right? So I need to use the MySQL data source. I'm just clicking, and it will load, and it will ask for the details, like where it will ask, we need to tell, right, at which server the MySQL service is running, where you have to connect, how to connect that username, password, and which database I have to connect. So we need to provide those details. Okay, so for example, let me create one user for it. Create user custom at, I'm doing with OpenHost, identified by custom, grant all on to and plus privileges. Oops. Okay. Okay. Fine. So I created one user. The username is custom and the password is also custom. So now let me get the host details. Config.me. I am providing the server IP and my MySQL is running with the 3306 port. So that is fine. You don't need to mention the port here. But if you are running with different port, then let's say if you are running 3010, then you need to provide the port. Okay, but by default, that is fine. You don't need to add the default port. And which database I'm going to retrieve the information, which is information schema, right? Which is information schema. And the username is custom and the password is custom. And yeah, you can ignore the other fields. And yeah, you can ignore it. And let me test whether the connection is working or not. Okay, save and test. Just click it. Data source updated. Okay. Yeah, actually I am seeing one error. DB query error failed to connect the server. Please inspect Grafana server. Okay, so this is the issue with, I think it is not able to connect the server. So I think it is due to the bind address. So like that bind address. Yeah, so my MySQL is binded with the 127 localhost, so it is not able to connect. Let me update it. MySQL config.t. So let me command them in the config. I just commanded the bind address, so it will take the default value. Okay. Systemctl restart MySQL. Yes. So now let me verify whether it is changed. Yeah. So now I have star. So it will allow the remote connection. So now again I am save and test. Yeah, now the database connection is okay. Okay. So you should see this green tick. Then only your data source is added without any issue, and you can query the data from the MySQL. Okay, I just save and test. That is fine. Now uh, we added the data source. We added the MySQL data source, and we have the MySQL query to populate the data, right? The next one is we need to create the dashboard. That is the next step. So to create the dashboard, come to this dashboards option, and there you will find plus new dashboard, right? Just click it, and you can choose the first one, add a new panel, and here you can give the panel title. Yeah, panel title is like MySQL engine count. Yeah, MySQL in maybe yeah, population something. Okay, you can give any name and you can give some description about your engine as well. Okay, now I'm going to retrieve the data from table. So I'm just choosing table here, and here you need to configure it. You need to add the query here. Okay, so you can see the data source option. Currently, this is metrics. So for me, my data source is MySQL. So once you added the data source, then only you will see here. Okay, so it is recommended to add it. So I am choosing MySQL data source, and then here I need to provide the query. For which query I need to get the detail, right? So click the query and edit. Yeah, when changing to table. Yeah. So here I need to provide the SQL query. we already prepared the SQL query, right? Yeah, here it is. So this is my SQL query. I'm just copying and pasting over here. And here you can check the query inspector to see if you have any error with your query or not. Okay. So I do not see any error. So this is fine. Closing it. Yeah. So here you can see now the data, the same data is populated here, right? And you can also see this with different dashboard options. Like these are the suggestions. So for example, I'm choosing this one. So here you can see InnoDB 36 CSV to performance schema 111, right? So which dashboard you like, you can choose the bar charts, right? Here you can see the count and all those things. And this one and this one, MySQL engine population. So this is like colorful, right? So not only this one, maybe you can create your custom queries, and if you want to create your own dashboard, then this is very, very helpful. Okay. You can directly come to the PM dashboard and you can monitor everything here. Pie chart. There are a lot of options. You can use it actually. Okay. So usually I like this one. So yeah, I'm just keeping this. And then you need to save this. First up play. So now your dashboard will be like this. Then it will ask to save the dashboard. And here you can give the name for the dashboard, MySQL engine population, and just where you want to store it. MySQL. I'm choosing the MySQL folder and just save the dashboard. Here you can see the dashboard is saved. Then whenever you log in PMM and you want to see that your custom dashboard which you created, you stored in, I stored in the MySQL folder, right? I'm just coming to the MySQL folder, and here you can see MySQL engine population is available. So just click it. I can see the dashboard which I created, right? So so let's test one more thing. So currently the InnoDB is 36, right? 36. Let me try to create one table. Create database 3 and use 3. Create table T1 ID in InnoDB. Yeah, I created one table, and let me reload this. Okay, so it is loading the page. Yeah, let's wait. Yeah, so it is now changed from 36 to 37, right? So this is like real time. The value will be updated real time. So whenever you are loading this dashboard, it will execute the query in your MySQL in backend MySQL instance, and it will get the data from there. Here, get the data, and it will populate here. That is the real time data. Okay, cool. So this is about how to create the custom dashboard with by adding the data source. So we come to the end. I think this one is quite long video, but yeah, I think this is interesting topic, right? So PMM is very, very useful one to monitor. You can achieve more with the PMM, not only monitoring purpose. Okay, it has the quant. You can troubleshoot. You can monitoring different environments. Okay, and currently it is actually actively getting developed. Okay, that is the one important thing. You can see the lot of releases which are coming with important features and bug fixes. So if you do not familiar with PMM before, I would strongly recommend to uh, uh, like learn about it, test about it, implement about it. Okay. So yeah, if you have, as usual, if you have any questions, you can comment. or you can directly reach me in the LinkedIn. I'm happy to assist. And if you feel like if you did not subscribe my channel yet, please do that for more MySQL and related technologies related videos. Yeah, and yeah, share with your friends as well. Yeah, see you. Bye. Thank you.